practicing adjective clauses. First, please make sure that on your Cornell notes, you write adjective clauses for your topic. And for your essential question, please write, explain what an adjective clause is and how and why you use these types of clauses. Now I want to remind you what a clause is. A clause is a word group that contains both a subject and a verb. Remember, a clause has to have both to be a clause. A clause can be independent, which means it can stand alone, or dependent, which means it can't stand by itself. I like to think of an independent clause as an adult and a dependent clause as a baby. A baby cannot take care of itself, so it needs to depend on an adult or an independent clause for help. When looking at dependent clauses, there are different types of dependent clauses. They have different purposes. They're used for different things. Tonight, we're just going to be looking at adjective clauses. What does an adjective clause do? Well, it acts like an adjective. Remember, an adjective describes or modifies a noun or pronoun. It tells which one or what kind. It brings clarity and good description to your writing. I'm going to give you some examples of adjective clauses. Charlotte showed us pictures that she took at Disneyland. That she took at Disneyland is our adjective clause. Notice it has a subject in the clause she and a verb, took. We know that this is an adjective clause because it is telling what kind or which ones. She showed us pictures. Which pictures? Pictures that she took at Disneyland. Here's another example. Ariana was the student who filmed the video. Who filmed the video is our adjective clause. We know it's a clause because we have our subject. Sometimes the word that starts an adjective clause is also the subject of the clause. So we have our subject too, and we have our verb filmed. So we know it's a clause. We know it's an adjective clause because it's describing a noun, student. Which student? Student who filmed the video. When you see a relative pronoun, such as that, which, who, or whose, it's usually a pretty good clue that there's going to be that's an adjective clause in your sentence that you're looking at. Now, a relative pronoun relates an adjective clause to the word or words it modifies. The word that can refer to people or things. However, the word which can refer to things only. She's the friend that I talk to most. Here's our relative pronoun, that. And this whole clause here is describing which friend. The friend that I talk to the most. Disneyland is a place that makes me happy. That is our relative pronoun. That makes me happy is our adjective clause. This adjective clause that makes me happy is telling which place. What place that makes me happy. Devin played the song which he just finished yesterday. Which is our relative pronoun. Which he just finished yesterday is our adjective clause. This adjective clause is describing which song. You know, the song which you finished yesterday. Sometimes a relative pronoun may be preceded by a preposition. This means that before the relative pronoun, there's a preposition. For example, the actor to whom I'm referring is Tatum Channing. Whom is our relative pronoun? To is a preposition that comes before it. This whole part in green, to whom I'm referring, is our adjective clause. It's describing, modifying, or referring to which actor. You know, the actor to whom I'm referring. Another example. Got a question here. Have you read the book on which the movie is based? Which is our relative pronoun. On is a preposition that's before it. On which the movie is based is our whole adjective clause. It's referring to which book. Sometimes an adjective clause may be introduced by when or where. This is when you're modifying or describing a place or a time. For example, this is the spot where we met. He looked forward to lunch when he could eat. Sometimes the relative pronoun or adverb can be omitted. Oh, that was weird. For example, oh, that's not good. Sorry guys, having a little bit of technical difficulty. My smartboard when I was recording this went out. So I'll have to do this just from my computer. Okay. Sometimes the relative pronoun or adverb can be omitted. For example, you haven't given me the gift that you bought. That you bought is our adjective clause. We can actually cross out the word that. You would have, you haven't given me the gift you bought. You bought would still be an adjective clause. You're just assuming that the writer is sorry about that, you guys, again. Had to stop. I was having some more technical difficulty. So like I was saying, sometimes the relative pronoun or adverb can be omitted. That is our relative pronoun. If you read the sentence, you haven't given me the gift that you bought. This adjective clause, that you bought, is describing the gift. You don't have to have the word that in there. You can take it out and have the sentence, you haven't given me the gift you bought. It's assumed or sort of implied that the word that is there, but you don't have to actually have it in the sentence. Another example, a boy whom I know. Whom I know is our adjective clause, and it's describing a boy, which boy, whom I know. And you don't have to have the word whom in there.
the sentence makes sense and still has the same meaning if you take out the word whom. So the new sentence would be, a boy I know is moving. It's implied that the word whom is there. And the last example, do you remember the time when I tripped over the dog? When I tripped over the dog is our adjective clause. When is a relative adverb. And you don't have to have the word when. It's sort of if you take it out, the sentence still has the same meaning. Do you remember the time I tripped over the dog? So it's implied that you mean when. So you don't have to have the word when in there. The sentence, again, still has the same meaning. So if you take out the relative pronoun, that, or whom, or when in sentences like this, again, they have the same meanings.